definitely the professional atmosphere is a new opportunity, and I knew I was always ready, but being in Canada, it's tough to get opportunities, and I knew if I kept working when I was given the opportunity to be at that professional level, I would take it with both arms.
Hello, and welcome back for yet another edition of Podcast from the Pitch, your primary source for sports news, stories, training tips, and anything else regarding the world of athletics. The man you heard reflecting on his career at the start of today's episode was Morey Donor, a quick, versatile, 26-year-old Canadian fullback. Donor, who signed his first professional contract for York 9 FC of the Canadian Premier League recently, is recognized for his pace and creativity, both on and off the ball. While he has an incredible influence on the pitch, the young man has been found to possess some strong skills and a powerful mindset off the pitch as well. Today, that is precisely what we plan to share with you. Before we begin, a few things should be stated. Why Donor, one may ask? What does he have to offer that other people and athletes may not? Well, while these certainly are fair questions, those who truly know and understand his story will find the answer rather obvious. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Donor signed his first pro contract at 25, which means it took him a slightly longer duration of time than most to reach that milestone. However, the Canadian's experience highlights the importance of persistence in seeking out new opportunities, two concepts which not all people are quite able to grasp. Understanding that, consider something you have always wanted to achieve, yet have found difficult to accomplish. Remember this throughout the episode, as it is something we will briefly touch on later. Now, get in your podcast listening mode and thoroughly enjoy our segment, An Extraordinary Talent's Story of Persistence. Persistence. As Dictionary.com puts it, persistence is the act or fact of persisting, which is defined as to continue steadfastly or firmly in some state, purpose, course of action, or the like, especially in spite of opposition. Essentially, to put it in simpler terms, persistence means constantly putting in effort and refusing to succumb to challenges and or the pressure they provide. For Morey Donor, York 9 FC's talented, versatile, and quick right fullback, persistence is a familiar word. Throughout his soccer career, he tirelessly tried to work his way up the ranks, progressing through the tiers of soccer in Canada, his home nation, hoping to make his mark as a professional, something he had always yearned for. Donor spent his fair share of time in the semi-professional leagues, hoping somebody would notice him and allow him to become the pro he aspired to be. As he recalls, the path certainly was not easy though. When I asked him if there was one thing he had learned from his experiences that proved to be extremely beneficial, his efforts were revealed when he responded,
I would just say believe in yourself and trust the process. There's a time where you may think that maybe you're not going to make it or the time's not going to come for you. But like I said, I signed my first professional contract at 25, and people have that idea that once you hit a certain age that it's never going to come. So for me, I just kept the right mentality and believed in myself. I knew when the time was right, and when I had the opportunity, I'll take it. So yeah, it fell into my lap, and I'm doing well.
What I found to be particularly nice about this was not only that I did not receive a typical cliché response, yet that Donor incorporated his own experience. I feel that in doing that, it really allowed me to relate and understand how some of my previous experiences occurred and what I can take away from them. That is what the focus of today's episode is. For those of you who listen to these podcasts in hope of advancing yourself as a student, employee, athlete, person, etc., this is what I want you to understand. As Morey Donor stated, people have doubts. In his case, some felt that he would never sign a pro contract, as he was already 25 years old and without one. Yet, he maintained a firm belief, and as aforementioned, had trust in the process. Regardless of what negative energy the people surrounding you contribute, continue to believe your dream is possible. Persist. Work. Do not allow the doubts that people have to hinder your development or your progression. Without the confidence the fullback had in himself, he may never have accomplished as much as he has now, if anything, in fact. From signing his first pro contract to making his debut at the professional level, he has accomplished quite a bit, while also depositing his first professional goal, registering a couple of assists, being voted as York 9 FC's best player, as well as ranking as the 6th best fullback in the Canadian Prem, despite having only played one season at the top level. Impeccable stuff. In addition to everything he has accomplished, Donor possesses a vital attribute that is often overlooked. What I am talking about is the ability to adapt. A common phrase that is recited in daily life is adapt and overcome. We have all heard it at one point or another, yet what does that mean exactly? Well, without going into much detail, the phrase shares the message that sometimes we need to accept change, or adapt, and move on, or overcome. It came to my attention that athletes, especially Donor, must adapt at times, when he stated,
Obviously, now that I'm a pro, it's a lot harder, a lot different than when I used to be just playing at a semi-professional level. It's more competitive. Players are a lot better, a lot smarter, but you learn every day. You learn off teammates. You learn off mistakes, and I'm just happy to keep working hard and get to new levels.
The thing that I appreciate the most about his mentality here is that Donor is not afraid to continue learning, too. As he mentioned, experiencing something new is challenging, yet also allows for some of the best learning moments. In being challenged, you have to adjust, and you ultimately discover more about yourself or the world. In daily life, these moments also exist as well. There are tasks we find difficult, such as writing an essay or vacuuming the house. Remember before the episode when I asked you to think of something you've always wanted to achieve? Well, it's likely because it's something that challenges you. It's a lofty goal, something you set so you work hard and you challenge yourself and push yourself and do everything you can to accomplish it. I know for a fact that all of you experience challenges, and I do as well. For example, creating the intro song for this podcast was not easy, yet I experimented with the technology and learned how everything worked. If I were to shy away from my responsibilities, I would be left without some incredibly useful knowledge. Yet in facing that challenge, learning to adjust to the difficult circumstances, and not being afraid to make mistakes, I learned a plethora of vitally important and useful things, just as Morey Donor did in the top flight of professional soccer in Canada. I am certain that you can do the same. If there is something you find challenging, do not avoid it. Please don't. One of the most important steps, if not the most important step, is branching out and attempting new things. Use Morey Donor as a reference. Accept certain things are difficult, yet persist and challenge yourself to accomplish as much as you possibly can. That mindset of adapting and having trust in the process is critical, because if the belief and work are there, the results you look for will come. All in all, we hope that you enjoyed yet another episode of Podcast from the Pitch with our special guest, Morey Donor. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, while also following us on Instagram at podcastsfromthepitch.yt. Please remember to leave any feedback you feel is necessary, as it is all appreciated. Taking the advice of Morey Donor, we are continuing to face the challenge of creating an exciting and original podcast channel. Please spread the influence of Podcasts from the Pitch to as many different people as possible. Lastly, support Morey Donor and York 9 FC as they embark on a new journey, the Island Games, which is a tournament among Canadian Premier League teams in place of their regular season for 2020. As you may have noticed, this was our very first podcast, which included audio from our interview with our guest. Donor was a huge contributor in that, and I feel it is only fair to pay him back by supporting him and his team as they embark on a new journey, the Island Games. Support them, support us, and have a fantastic day. We have even more exciting and original content coming out, and you certainly want to be a part of it. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.